Support provided by the LSU Alumni Association and the Cook Hotel and Conference Center at LSU. We started the program with a big conference win from one of the teams here in the state. We looked at big wins from UL Monroe. We saw Louisiana Tech, big conference wins as well. And how about that one for Louisiana? Well, let's end the show with a big win in conference play. We're talking about the Tulane Green Wave coming off of that tough loss in Oxford. They were back on the road, Skelly Field in Tulsa Town. Scott, I played a lot of those intramurals.
Stomping ground.
A lot of intramurals on this football field. That's about all I could do there. But here we go. Opening drive after a 24-yard completion. Jake Retzlaff hits Bryce Bohannon. This is good for 27 yards. Remember, Retzlaff struggled against Ole Miss 1 week ago. He got it going early in this one. 3 plays later, Retzlaff from 8 yards out, and it's 7-0 Tulane. Tulsa's going to respond with some trickery here out of the shotgun, the handoff, the pitch, the toss back, and yeah, Grayson Tempest is wide open. First reception of the season, and he's 2 yards short of a touchdown. But that's okay because 2 plays later, let's bring in Tim Hardiman. And Tim Hardiman plays on the defense. But he went up and over with that big body, and we're tied at 7. Second quarter, 4th and 4 for Tulane. Retzlaff rolls out, finds Shaz Preston for the first down. Very next play, Javen Gordon, 12 yards as he goes right side, makes one cut untouched into the end zone, and it's 14-7 Wave. Huge play for Tulsa here. Watch Brody Foley. He's your tight end. Watch him just release off the defender, the soft touch, and that big body's off to the races. Another big play, Scott, 72 yards. Don't fault Tulane for the effort, but he was just too far away to get to the end zone. We're tied at 14. Later for Tulsa, on the pitch, doink, hits him in the face mask, not where you want to toss it to your man. Turnover, Tulane jumps on it. Back to Mr. Gordon. 25 yards here, dashes into the end zone. We've seen one already. How about this one? Up the middle, makes a move. We're going to need some new laundry. Pulling that shirt together, but that's touchdown number 2, and it's 24-14 at the half. Watch this execution, Scott. Everybody goes left, but look, 2 people come right, wide open. Retzlaff to Bryce Bohannon inside the 10. That sets up the man of the day. Mr. Gordon, once again, if you please. 3rd touchdown as he bounces off the defense in the middle. 31-14 Green Wave at this point. Yeah, nice day for Tulane up in Tulsa Town to improve to 4-1 and 1-0 in conference play. They win it 31-14. It's a Green Wave roll up 437 yards. Gordon, 15 carries for 78 yards and 3 touchdowns on the day. Tulane, another one of the many teams in the state with a bye week next week. They will get ready for East Carolina in 2 weeks. Head coach John Summerall, we drinking decaf yet?
I think in league play, if you can win at the line of scrimmage, which I think we have the ability to, and you can control the run game, they ran for 2.4 yards a carry. That's a recipe for success. And then, we were able to run for 4.3, which is nice, but we stopped the run, and that's a huge credit to our defensive line, our second level players as well. Our linebackers, I thought, fit some things good, but the defensive front, I did really feel them a lot today.
Coming off a loss like Ole Miss, we knew that wasn't our standard, so I felt like we had to come out here and prove something, and we did that today.
He's a twitchy, physical, violent player. He plays with a great motor. He's active with his hands. He's a hard guy to block. During spring ball, he was really disruptive in our practices, and I'm sitting there going, all right, this guy's a load. He's a handful for our offense to deal with. And I knew that as we got in the league play, I thought you would start to feel him even more, which he made his presence known today for sure with how he played.
What are your impressions of Javen Gordon on the other side of the ball? Freshman scored 3 touchdowns today.
I talk to that young man all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. True freshman, that's a beast right there.
Coming in spring practice, it helped a lot. I had a lot of growing pains, and just being able to learn from that and make significant strides throughout the end of spring and throughout the summer into fall camp, it helped a lot.
Needless to say, he was the one that got to lead the hullabaloo in the locker room just now. 15 carries, 78 yards, 3 touchdowns for a true freshman. For anybody, it's good. Mm-hmm. For a true freshman, man, I'm very impressed with the way he's playing. He's a physical, gritty, hard-nosed runner. He's a really smart guy. He's very detailed. Really like the way he's playing. Just very proud of his effort, and his hard work's paying off. He works really hard at his craft, and he's very consistent, very detailed, and not surprised because he does it every day.
This team has won 13 conference road games in a row in a regular season.
No, that's not true. This team's won 1.
Because of the Army game, you're going to go on
this team has won 1 conference game.
This team. Okay. I was just how, okay. That just.
I'm not trying to be rude. This team's
no,
won.
not. Yeah, I get you. I get
60 of these
you.
dudes weren't here.
You're not worried about anything that happened before this year, is what you're saying.
No, I don't care what happened last year. I don't care what happened last week.
Yeah.
I want to win a game every week right now. And we got a lot of work to do to get ready to win East Carolina. We honestly, we suck right now, to be honest with you. We suck. And we got to get a lot better.
Decaf. Need a decaf stat. I love John Summerall's enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And they're not that bad because they've had one loss against a very good Ole Miss team. Let's talk about the freshman for a minute. Javen Gordon, with what he was able to do with the 3 touchdowns. We've seen Retzlaff lead this team in rushing from the quarterback position. Yep. We've been watching them kind of mold themselves. We've talked about the development. We've talked about how we both like Summerall and his approach. But you're getting into conference play, and if you're going to start watching a freshman now develop to do that, along with what Retzlaff can do when he's on his game, not only passing but running, now you're talking about a defense, and you've been there. Yeah. What are you going to do now? Like, now you're putting them on their heels, right?
Yeah, and you can see that young man, he's got that burst. When you watch film and you see guys move at a little different pace, when they stick their foot in the ground and change direction and accelerate faster than everybody else, that's special. You need to get him the ball more. And also, you talk about Retzlaff, you can't run your quarterback into the ground all year. So as nice as it is to have Retzlaff's legs, and he's been really dynamic in the run game, you need to take that load off him. And this young man, he needs to touch the ball more. He's got burst ability.
Yeah, and boy, he certainly did show it in a very fine way at Tulsa. And then on the defensive side of the ball, we haven't really focused a ton on Tulane's defense, but Santana Hopper, you heard him there in some of the comments, and we want to show you some of the plays because he had himself an outstanding day when you look at his total numbers. 6 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss against Tulsa. And the announcers, if you were watching this game, they couldn't stop talking about this young man, and they kept saying to each other, boy, we're saying Hopper a lot. Yeah, they did, because he is really starting to emerge as a defensive leader.
And nobody was happier than the Sun Belt Conference to see him lead. He was the best. He was the top guy, top defensive lineman in the Sun Belt Conference last year, first team All-Conference. Pro Football Focus had him ranked the #1 defensive lineman. So he's a disruptive player. Tulane was fortunate to get him in the portal, and he's going to be a problem all year long. So you're going to see teams start to change their offensive game plan. When you disrupt offenses like this, like Hopper's doing, offenses are going to start to take notice and change their game plan and run away from you.
Yeah, well, you and I have talked about it. When you have one guy now that starts changing schemes, because this is when it's time for everybody else, right, to step up. Hopper, he's starting to prove himself and starting to establish himself, and you mentioned the record that he had in the Sun Belt Conference. Now if teams are going to put maybe 2 guys on there, right, if I got 2 guys going to you, now I need to step up because you're taking the attention, which is what he can do.
Yeah, and, you know, when offenses do that, maybe sometimes your numbers, Hopper's numbers may go down, sacks may go down, but to your point, it opens up the rest of the defense for everybody else, and that's where somebody else is time to shine. Maybe in the middle of the defense, you're getting more pressure in the pass game. Linebackers are being freed up because now 2 guys are being put on one of the defensive linemen. So he changes defensive life. He changes offensive schemes.
Look,